I learned that from a billionaire, as a matter of fact, that, ego is not your amigo, and it affects you in every way possible. It does.
People will clap for you, right, as you're climbing.
Yeah.
And then when you make it, then they're like, man, F Diego, man, that owe me lunch money.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? On some stupid shit.
People are going to always talk about rates. I never focus on rates. Never. I focus on the value I can add to that property.
He's going to be a speaker at creditmeetup.com, April 20th.
Latino Solutions, yeah. Expandiendo tu mente con el crédito y con dinero en el banco. Quiero tener más, nunca será suficiente. 50,000 hasta 100,000 en una tarjeta. Esa es la meta. Multiplicando nunca me voy a rendir porque con el crédito quiero la cuenta repleta. Si no estás en crédito, bro, tú no estás en nada, tú no tienes nada.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Econ Bulldog. I have a special guest today. Goes by the name of Diego Alba. All right, we've got a special treat. We're going to dive into his background, what he's done, how he's able to drive that car, raise a beautiful family, right? So we're going to dive in. So first of all, Diego, thank you so much for being on here, brother. Thank you for having me. So a lot of my subscribers, they're new. Okay. They don't understand investing. They probably don't have the best credit, right? Mm-hmm. Can you start by telling us real quick just how you got started in what you do?
Yeah.
You take it back. If you take it back,
I could take it back. I mean, first of all, I'm going to let people know I don't come from a wealthy background. I don't come from, a family that came here into the States wealthy. I'm from Mexico originally. I was born in Mexico, came here with nothing. We actually were blessed to get picked up on the streets by a family that just saw us getting rained on. But let me tell you guys something. Starting like credit, you start with no credit. I started with no credit at first, and little by little started leveraging myself by saving up, and at the same time, starting with one card and then adding, starting to pay that card off little by little, and then just started. Because at first I had no credit, so I had to kind of find a way to get myself into, having some type of credit, some type of payment. Because a lot of us, we think old school, like, hey, pay everything off. You have the money, pay it off. You have the money, pay it off. But that cost me to cap. It cost me to like not be able to grow because I run out. You don't have any funds. Then where do you get funds to have a bank actually lend you money, right? So I couldn't get into like real estate or get into buying a car. I was so used to, when I got started, buying everything cash. My dad got me started, saving up some money.
No debt.
And then no debt. Save up some money, pay this car off, sell that car off, get another car, and then whatever you leverage, put that money to the side, get another car, drive it for a little while, and then kind of like flipping cars. That's how I got started.
Oh, nice.
I started like flipping cars before I got started in real estate.
What age did you get to the States? Were you and your family?
Oh, I was about four years old when we got here.
Okay. Yeah. Brother,
I have a sister, and the sister, she's about 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And so we got here, and she was actually born. Funny thing, she was born in the States, and then we went back to Mexico, and then I came back, and I was born. I'm sorry, she was born in the States, went back to Mexico. I was born out there, and then we came back here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, don't be fooled, guys. I mean, I thought he was 20 years old, but yeah, I think
I've been in the game for about 23 years now. I've been an investor and an entrepreneur for 23 years.
Damn. So,
yeah.
Guy, do the math. The math ain't mathing. He's got some years on him, right? And anyone that's been doing, something for 23 years, pay attention, right? Pay attention, take notes. That's why this podcast here is to give you guys free game on stuff that, hey, I resonate with Diego, right? Let me start following him on Instagram. Let me see what he's about. So that's why I say we're going to dive in more. So awesome. So do you remember your first credit card? Like, if you remember. I remember Ryan, but I racked that up so quick.
No, as I'm thinking too, I think my first credit cards were back then. It wasn't Chase. It was
Wamo? Oh, the Wamo.
Washington Mutual.
Washington Mutual. You probably got that account number 000-450 or something like that.
Yeah. That's where I started. That was my first card, and it was like $500. It wasn't even a lot because I can qualify for anything else. But it's a beginner. It shows the banks that you can actually pay on time, and that's the biggest thing that helped me. Yeah.
Now, my first card was First Premier.
Okay.
So Wackis, they're still around. They're still around because of all the interest everyone pays.
Yeah.
That was my first card. In the mail, 500. I called oh wow, I got free money, $500. My grandma, rest in peace, I would just be like, hey grandma, let's go eat on me. Hey grandma, let's go eat. And then after the first bill came in, I'm like, dude, I can't pay this.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I ruined my credit for, that was when I was like 20.
Wow.
I ruined my credit for like, 15 years, 18 years after that.
Wow.
I'm 40, so I barely woke up to credit 4 years ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Everything, the entrepreneurship was all cash too.
Wow.
Even when I did Amazon, all cash. Didn't know nothing about credit. And then I started mentoring people. And then they kept telling me, hey, bro, I can't get my store past $10,000 a month. And I'm like, why? And I just kept on saying, like, why? Leave me. Because I was doing like 40, 50K a month in sales, not profits. And then, because I don't have credit. I was like, oh, shit, me neither.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I was helping people.
Eye opener, like, hey, they need credit.
Big I am for that.
And they need capital.
Yeah. So it just allowed me to dive in that, learn a little bit more, but not go in full crate repair mode. This is the way I'm in. And yeah, man. So back to you.
Let me tell you a true story. I started in 2008 when the market crashed because I was already doing pretty good. I had multiple companies. We were doing 7 figures. We were making money. We were making good money. We lost everything in 2008. I lost everything in 2008. I lost companies. I lost staff. I lost everything. Everything that you can think of, all the way down to my own personal property, cars, and homes. And that's when I lost my credit because I had over leverage, and I had put the cards to max to try to survive the crash. And I put everything on the cards, and at that time they already had, I think it was still, I don't know if it was still Washington Mutual or Chase at that time now, but everything was so maxed out, I couldn't catch up. I don't know if you were ever in this situation, but I couldn't catch up. I was like paying one card, trying to pay the other one off, and everything was like 23, 24, 25%. And I'm like, what? I was trying to get cards like a transfer, like,
Yeah, you have a trip.
balance transfer so I can get out of that debt. Because I couldn't get out of it. I was paying, and it would like keep increasing. I'm like, dude, what am I going to do? So I had to figure out a plan to start saving as much money as I needed because I couldn't get anybody to give me a balance transfer. So I figured out a plan and said, okay, this is the total. This is how much it's increasing every month, right? So this is how much it's costing me monthly. Let me figure out a plan to save and put that money aside and strictly just focus on no more going out, no more hanging out, no more nothing. It's just going to all go back to paying off these cards because there's no way out for me. I'm just getting buried, and if I don't get out of this, I'm never gonna be able to hit the reset button and start all over again. And so that was my beginning. I've never shared that with anyone. That was the beginning of me getting out of the debt to get myself into the next move.
So you still had the skill. It kind of wiped you out, but you were like still making deals, right? Saving money, to kind of get you like, hey, you know what? Let me reset. Let me start something new.
Yeah.
Or obviously still in the same niche.
No, at that time, remember the market crash, so I was out of everything that had to do with real estate, out of everything that had to do with construction, because at the time that's what I was doing. My last job was at a friend's repair center, auto repair center.
Nice.
And it was a construction job on his building. And after that, it was like all I had was the money to depend on. I was working. Luckily, he gave me a job, right? And gave me a job, and I ended up working in the one thing that I said I would never work in my life, was just selling cars.
Selling cars.
I ended up at a dealership with a buddy that kept calling me when he was winning, and I was like, dude, I only in real estate. I'm like, your numbers aren't gonna match my numbers. And then the market crashes, and that's the first person I had them calling, like, hey, I need a job, man. So after working at the auto repair center, I went to go work at the dealership for a couple months, but that money that I was making at the time was like, I had already lost everything. So I had nothing to my name. I ended up back at my parents' home as an adult. Imagine being rich and then just losing everything, and then just ending up back at my parents' home with nothing, and then just debt, nothing but debt. And it was not like, I had to figure out a way to get myself out of that debt and pay back.
He said something powerful, guys, and sometimes when we lose everything, we still have pride, right? But he went to a friend that was probably doing a little better than him, but he swallowed his pride, right? Hey, let me do what you're doing, help me out or something like that. And guys, if you're watching, some people don't reach out to you because they're prideful, right? I have family that know what I do, and then I can fix their credit, probably not even charge them because they're family, but they still won't reach out because they don't want me to see how bad in debt they are, or they don't want me to know their finances. Like, I mean, it's about swallowing your pride and get with people that are going to try to elevate you.
Yeah.
That's one goal that if you guys are listening, take that, you know, from this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. That being at a younger, it's crazy because when I was younger, even then when we were winning, you know, before 2007, you know, I recently had linked back up with one of the other investors out of the office who were always like kind of competitive, you know what I mean, and prideful towards one another. And, you know, the beauty of growing, right, and getting older and knowing that, hey, being egotistic and prideful does nothing for you. So we link back up and, you know, it's all about helping each other out and winning. And, like, the whole mindset changes. So when you're thinking, you know, like with envious, you know, and you're thinking, you know, your mindset is off, you know, it's broken. You need to find a way to change that because, you know, I learned that from a billionaire, as a matter of fact, that, you know, ego is not your amigo, and it affects you in every way possible. It does.
And you know what he's saying, obviously I can resonate because if Diego is winning, and let's say, you know, after this podcast, he gets more success, like I'm still going to clap for him, right? And it pushes me, you know, to work harder. Most people will turn that into negativity, you know, and that's where they stay the same or they get even lower because they look at him. And it's like, I say this before, guys, people will clap for you, right, as you're climbing.
Yeah.
They'll say, Diego, keep going, bro. I see you, bro. We was in the same high school.
Yeah.
And then when you make it, then they're like, man, F Diego, man, that owe me lunch money.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? On some stupid shit.
Yeah, but I don't want to see you win. And we need to, us as Latinos and minorities, we need to clap for each other. We need to keep you know, rooting for each other, and we need to lift each other up. Too many people already out there in the world. The world's already coming down on us as it is coming to the U.S. and doing what we do. So it's up to us to lift each other up, not to look at everyone else and go, you know, basically, I'm here because I'm a minority, or I'm here because, you know, or hate on everybody else because they're doing better than you. You run your own race. You're your own competitor. No one else is here to compete against you. I'm not here to compete against him. He's not here to compete against me. We're here to win together. And then all of us need to embrace that.
Another thing real quick, and most of my followers and subscribers, they're all majority Latino minorities. One of the things that I think is important, and you guys can fact check me on this, the Asian culture and the Indian culture, when there's a new member going to the city, to the neighborhood, they'll all chip in 10,000 here, 10,000 there, 10,000 there, get 100,000, give it to that person, say, look, we'll loan you this, start a business, and then give us back. Latino ain't doing that.
No.
That's why you got to go to a place like Access Capital, right? Shout out to Mark Miller. Mark monetized me on Instagram so you can get that capital you need to start a business, to open up business credit. You know, that's the man right there. So I definitely want to give a shout out to him because he's opened my eyes to more, you know, possibilities, right? Right now, I've been doing a lot of stuff, even with personal credit. But, you know, business credit is where you can hide your debt, right? You want to keep the personal clean. All the debt, you want to transfer it to the business. Why? Because that's a tax write-off, right? You can be over leveraged on the business side and still have a clean personal score, which won't affect your chances of getting more credit in the long run. Because you could open up another LLC, right? A lot of people, they open up LLC, they'll try something for 3 years, they'll say loss, and they'll open up something else.
Yeah.
So that's a way of you hiding it and still keeping your personal clean. That's a gem for you guys. So Diego, tell me, what was your first, like I said, reality to success? Because you talked about back then maybe being rich.
Yeah.
Right now we're going towards, like, you know, wealthy or something like that. And what was your first, like, shit, dude, I got some money, I can buy this, I can buy that, you know?
I think overall, I mean, everyone's description of their own success is different. But for me, I think when my dad helped me, and now helped me financially, I had my own money. Once I had flipped enough cars, we had enough money saved up to where I bought a car. And then I had enough money to buy a house. And I had no idea anything about buying a house. But my dad had a close friend with a a broker friend, and he was like, okay, now you're ready to buy a house. And I was like, I didn't know any better. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And we went and bought a house. And I think after selling that house after 3 months and making what I would make in a whole year working 2 jobs was my eye opener of like, this is what success feels like not working 9 to 5 or working countless hours and making, X amount of money. I was working, like I said, 2 jobs and full-time jobs to try to make ends meet, making money at the time. And I thought I was winning. And then when I saw in 3 months I made, without even lifting a finger, you know what I mean? Just putting my money where I needed to be, which is real estate at that time and continues to be. That's when I saw that I'm going to succeed. This is what I've been looking for. Because I already knew I wanted, right out of high school, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I didn't want to work for anyone. I knew that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to actually, run my own businesses, run my own environments, because I always worked at places that I hated the environment. I hated the way management treated me or the way certain people treated me or other employees, team members, whatever you want to call them. But so for me, it was a given. Like I needed, the only way to get out of this situation is for me to get myself out of the situation. So that's what
I think what he's cracking on too is like that time freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the time freedom when, you work for yourself, which, by the way, guys, quitting a 9 to 5 doesn't mean you're going to work less hours. I mean, Diego probably work 24/7. I work 24/7. It's a reality.
Oh, then
I'm always working. I'm always on the computer. This past week, my daughter was on spring break, and she said, "Hey, Dad, can we go to Balboa Island? Do a pontoon boat or something?" And I was like, it was like 2:00. I was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll put the laptop down. You're on spring break. Let's go. The possibility of doing that just on the win,
mm-hmm.
that's a big win right there.
Yeah, that's a W. Yeah, because you like you just said, it's like some people talk about financial freedom. To me, that's financial freedom, right? I get a chance to kind of make my, do my own schedule, work it away however I want to work it. But do I work long hours every day? Everyone that knows me, I'm like, I get up and I'm on the go. I go to sleep on the go. Like for me, it's like every day is my last day. Every day is like, I live every day right now. And especially now that I feel older, right? I feel like this is my last. I need to give it my all. And I need to make sure that my kids, get to see me giving it my all. So they know when they get, step on the plate, they're going to do the same thing.
And I think a lot of these entrepreneurs, we like talking about like legacy.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone has a last name that they want to carry on to their kids so they can carry on that legacy. Yeah. Right? His is Alba, mine's is Gil. Yeah. Whatever you're watching the podcast, carry on that legacy of your name. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote, the book. Yeah. The book is called Como Se Dice Credit, and it was for my kids. It was not to monetize. The reason I started monetizing it was because I just put little info on there regarding they can contact me if they want credit repair, if they want mentorship or something like that. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I think the book, it's just 5 factors of credit, gives a little breakdown, tells you how to liquidate a credit card, right? It's 25 pages. Yeah. Nothing crazy, 100 pages, but it's, my buddy made fun of me a little bit, but I was like, we kind of go back and forth a little bit. He goes, hey, bro, this ain't a book. This is a pamphlet, Mm-hmm. And I was just like, all right, cool. Where's your book? All right, man. All right. And the people that are going to shit on you, where are they at? What are they doing? Yeah. Same thing. When I got the American Express card, for me, my wife chose a little decoration on it, and I was just like, okay. And I showed my buddy it, and he was like, bro, what the hell? That's like a 4th grader. Mm-hmm. And I go, oh, where's your A-neck? Yeah, right. So, always, it's, I know he means well. He talks shit, but you can take it, you can dish it out. Yeah. Or if you can dish it out, you got to take it too.
Yeah, to some people it's a way of giving you pressure. Some people, and I know people in my life that do the same thing in a certain way. Yeah. I think it's a way to put pressure on you and to know what you have inside of you. I believe if he truly loves you, he knows, what you have inside of you, and he's just pushing you to that next level. And that's what it does. For me, that's what it does. I have one being my wife, another being my father. They're like constantly like, you can do better. You're like push because you know, I feel like I'm at 100 miles an hour, and they're like, you could do 120, you could do 150, you could do 200. Let's go. And that's what keeps me rolling, you know, honestly. And believing in that, you know, I always believe in myself. You know, I always believe that no matter what comes my way, no matter how many challenges, I mean, come on, I've lost it all already. What else can you do to me? You understand what I'm saying? I've lost it all before financially. So there's nothing that you can do to me that I'm not going to overcome and come up on top.
Got you. Now, I'm sure you invested, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in yourself. Who was your first mentor that you would say, hey, you know what? This guy helped me, which, I mean, it sounds like your dad, but...
Yeah. Yeah, my father was truly my hero, I think, you know, when it comes to everything that I have going on to this moment. I think the mindset and everything that he's instilled in me from the beginning was, you know, he worked 25 years in the food industry, in the grocery industry. He worked for a company, and him and my mom were both over 20 years at companies, and got nothing in return for it. Well, they were able to build through them, you know, themselves, figuring out their numbers, figuring out what they do. So I believe all of that, like a little bit of my mom and my dad were put in me, to show me, one, how to, you know, financial literacy, right? To know how to win financially, and two, how to make the most out of it. Because, you know, my parents, again, worked for companies for that long, but yet they were always financially winning. Like, people would see them and think that they worked for themselves, or they were, you know, self-employed.
Wow.
Because they knew how to, you know, leverage. And that kind of taught me, you know, with flipping cars, like, hey, we're going to start getting these cars for you. You're going to pay for them. I'm not paying for them, which is a good thing too. He didn't pay for them. He had me pay for them. And if I wanted to put wheels on that car, guess who's coming out of pocket? Me. So I had to actually work for it. I had to pay to get those wheels put on that sound system. As a knucklehead, when I was young, I ended up in the juvenile system. A lot of people never shared this, but I ended up in juvenile hall. And guess what? Guess what paid that attorney? That car that I had with the wheels, with the sound system. It was like, your car's gonna have to be sold for you to get an attorney. And that's, you know, that's the reality of it. That's like my father really teaching me, like, hey, he was truly my first mentor, you know. And then after that, I had a mentor in real estate that I currently still keep in touch with, who's helped me learn how to find the right properties at the moment. And we both eat, you know, he fed me as I fed him, and we continue to do the same thing. We continue to grow. But yeah, you have to find a mentor in the current stage of life in that you're in. You know, so many people want to automatically climb the ladder and go to the biggest mentor. You know, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for someone to help you with credit, then find somebody that wins in that industry, right? If you're looking for someone to help you in real estate investing, then find somebody that can help you or has already won, has a track record in that industry. That's, you know, if you're looking for someone in branding, you know, I have a mentor that helps me with that. And so, you know, it's you get a mentor that helps you to brand yourself, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for the viewers watching, and like I said, we want to give you guys some key nuggets. So the next question is for anyone beginning in real estate, right? Anyone like, hey, shoot, I don't know what to get into. The market's upside down right now. I really don't know. Is it going to go down in 6 months? What words can you share with someone like, hey guys, like literally, you know?
Yeah, I would tell you, stay away from the news. There's a lot of fake news out there. I would tell you, just stay away from the novelas and start paying attention. Look at your current area where you're at. You can actually go as far as, I'll keep it simple for you guys. You can go into Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, look at your zip code in the area where you're at. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need a license. You don't need to know anything. You just need to know how to actually get on there and learn how to look at properties like a 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. You know, how many baths, you know, what kind of backyard, front yard, what kind of lot size they have. Like, learn the basics. That's like the basics that you need to actually learn if you want to start investing in real estate. If you know nothing about real estate and you're just like, hear good things about it, I tell you, get on these. They're free. Get on these free websites. Get the information based on your zip code. Don't start looking in Hawaii. You're not gonna live in Hawaii. Don't start looking in other countries because you're not gonna live there right now. Focus in your local area that you're familiar with, that zip code, and start kind of looking and seeing how much your house or your parents' house goes for. you know how much it's worth, or the one that you're renting. And then that way you can kind of start looking around and seeing the ups and downs, like what house has a good kitchen, what house doesn't have a good kitchen, what's the difference in pricing, why is there a difference in price. Those are like the basics that I would tell you to get started with. That's how I learned, is by looking at the very smallest basic stuff, and then that way your eye starts catching and paying attention to the value out there, what really is a good investment, right? Because so many people want to give you the advanced, information, and you're just not ready for that. Start with the basics. Start going into Zillow, Trulia, I'll repeat it again, and Redfin. Look at that same property. Look at the different, how much they're valuing it out, and then go and look and see what got sold recently in that area, and do your comparisons, comparables. That's what people call comparables, and compare and see how you can actually leverage later in the future yourself, find a property. Because it's not people are going to always talk about rates. I never focus on rates. Never when it comes to real estate investing have I focused on rates. I focus on the value I can add to that property. If I get that property, and with needing paint, like my first property, we talked about my first property as a kid that I bought. That property, all I added was paint. I didn't even paint it. I ended up paying a painter to paint it. They painted the property, and 3 months later, I flipped it, and at that time made $27,000, which right now it's not a lot of money. But back then, I was working all year long, 2 jobs to make $27,000. So I made $27,000 in those 3 months. I mean, so it goes to show you, like, you don't need to know a lot, but you do need to have, the courage also too when you're ready to get started to jump in. I knew nothing. I just knew that I had the money, and I had enough money saved up to pay at least 3 mortgages, in case anything were to fall apart. I had up to, I was making enough money to keep up with the mortgage. I was making enough money to keep up with the mortgage. So if anything failed, I could still keep the property. But I knew right along, like, I didn't want to live in it. That's why I sat there for, like, right away. I put it on the market. Like, I would ask the broker, like, hey, so how much is it up now? Oh, this much. And then, like, literally, like, a couple of days later, I asked the same question again, like, how much is it up now? And then she's like, and then finally she's like, I was like, do I sell? And she's like, it's up to you. Like, if you want to sell it, you can make some money, but if you don't, it's up to you. So right away, I pulled the trigger. When I did the math and I saw that it took me all year to make that money, I was like, let's sell it, man. Let's make it.
To tie it back into credit and give you guys, most people DM me and they'll say, hey, what's the best credit card?
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, well, what's the best credit card for your situation? Oh, that's what I think. Are you building your credit? Are you a 750 with a thick credit profile? Like, do you have an Amex already? These are factors that people, they just want to get an Amex to get an Amex.
Yeah.
But I'm like, do you even travel?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, do you eat out a lot at restaurants? Because the gold card will give you 5x points on points if you go eat to a lot of restaurants. Amex, you can use that for a lot of travel. People like the lounges, right? The Centurion Lounge is kind of like a perk. Free alcohol, free drinks, free everything. And I think people like that VIP status. Well, Diego's in the lounge. He's got the car. I want that. That's why I want to get Amex.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, take it back. And if you're building your credit, seeing what credit card gives you the most points or travel or cash back on what you want to do.
Wow. That's good information too, because many of you, that's the thing too, is anything in real estate investing or as an entrepreneur or even starting a business, because I own multiple businesses as well. And then it's, where are you at in life? What stage are you at right now? Because the one thing doesn't help everyone, right? It's all about where you're at. Like you just said, like that one credit card might not be the credit card that you need to jump into, or you're not going to get qualified because you're not at that level. You need to know what level, where you're at, give them the room with individuals like ourselves, right? That can actually tell you and show you where you're at, analyze where you're at, and then help you. That's one of the biggest things. Is you can figure it out on your own. A lot of people, are like, oh, I don't need this person. I don't need this person. You can figure things out on your own, guys. That's not what I like. I always tell everyone, you can figure it out on your own. If it's going to take you longer, 100% it's going to take you longer. The purpose of these things, these podcasts or this information that you're getting, is for you to get in the room quicker and get the information faster. The faster you get the information, the faster you can make that move. The faster you actually can be able to level up and scale in life. You want to slow it down? You want to figure it out on your own? Go ahead. But I'll tell you something. I've been here 23 years, and you're just going to do this. You're going to just scatter here, left, right, and you're going to make it. I made it, thank God, right? Before all these platforms were available. But this is a way to speed up the process in the room with individuals like ourselves that can actually help you.
So I was reading this book. I belong to a book club. Every Wednesday you read a book, and then we go over the chapters. Every week we do a chapter of the book we're reading right now. Again, I read it twice. This is my second time reading it. Is Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We're on chapter 5. Just to give you guys a brief synopsis on that chapter, it talks about specialized and general knowledge. Okay, general knowledge is something that you might consume so much information, right? But Diego is doing specialized, which it means he's executing on the information, right? The word educate goes behind general knowledge. But most people that graduate, they don't execute on the information, right? They're consumed with so much information that they're just, okay, I can be an accountant, but I'm not executing my field, so I'm doing X, Y, and Z. So like for my son, he's going to a university, and while he's at university, has a podcast, right? He started a YouTube channel, and he's working on his entrepreneurship degree, right? And then by the end of this year, we're trying to buy him a property in Ohio that he's going to fund himself. He's going to close deals for me in the summer, right? He's already a closer already, but just to kind of raise up his capital so he doesn't think it's coming from mommy or daddy, right? That's the emphasis. And most people they go to school, do your thing. They party it up. They get around the wrong crowd. And then when they graduate, then they're like, oh shoot, I kind of figuring this out. Yeah. So I'm teaching my son, look, sacrifice, it's not fun. You're not out there partying it up on the weekend, but when you graduate, you're going to be in a way better position than your cohort, than the people that you started with. Yeah. Right. And then when the podcast goes to X, Y, and Z numbers, then they're going to come at you and be like, hey bro, can you put me on? And it's like, bro, where were you at when I was struggling or when I was doing it, right? And then that's harsh reality too. People will not see the struggle, and then they'll see the come up, and they'll try to be on the come up. But if you wasn't calling me when I was struggling, don't call me when I'm up.
Yeah, I lived that in 2008 where I lost everything. Like everyone I helped, every single individual. This does not mean I don't continue to help people. I continue to help. It's just my way of life. But in 08 when I lost everyone, I'm talking everyone that every contractor that I helped, every relationship. I'm gonna say relationship that I helped grow during the time that I was growing, disappeared. Everyone that showed up to the party disappeared. Everyone that showed up to all the free, you name it. You seen The Wolf of Wall Street, I'm sure that. Yeah. But like I would throw parties and I would like open parties. Yeah, everyone on Facebook at that time it was on Facebook. Everyone show up. It doesn't matter. MySpace. MySpace. Yeah, just show up. And everyone was gone. At that time when it takes you. At the end of the day, what you just said. It takes you. It takes for you to actually take action for yourself. No one else is gonna care more than you. A lot of people play the blame game. At the end of the day, it's all here. It's on your own. It's all here. No one else. So you got to make sure that you understand that and take responsibility for yourself. I did. I lost it all. Guess who had to go figure it out and how to build it back up? Me. And whose fault was it? My fault. And it always falls back to our own individual fault.
Nice. So I know a lot of the viewers, the thumbnail, we're gonna put us together and ride the poly thinking. You know what I mean? They're going straight to the car. I'm a car enthusiast. Yeah. The car, right? The car. Yeah. Damn, how's he able to drive that Ferrari, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs feel like you make a little bit of money, go get the car right away. Was that your philosophy, or you're like, hey, you know what? I want to be comfortable enough where the car, the property pays for the car. Because I love Albert, but his mentality is get the car and use the car as branding, which I did, but not there yet. But the car has got me so much business. Yeah, like stupid amount. They'll DM me, nice car, my credit's messed up. So the car is doing something. So for those of you guys watching, my man right here. What's the exact model of the car? The Ferrari
488 Spider. Ooh, Ferrari 488 Spider. And
Ferrari right there. I just watched that movie too. Not Rigetti, but Ferrari's in it.
Yeah.
What would you say? What car did you have before that?
I think we had Maserati before that.
Nice.
But, the reality of the story is this. I had a Maserati, and I bought it for my wife. She, we had a little one, so she's like, "Hey, it's time for me to. It's fun for you."
You got the SUV one?
No, we got a four-door.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, sedan.
Gotcha.
So, bought her that Ferrari. Bought that one cash, and then worked out a deal, negotiated a deal, bought it cash. I mean, I'm sorry, the Maserati. The Maserati. Bought that one cash. At that time, it took me how long? I think it took me 6 years to get the Ferrari. Took me quite some time. Actually, total 8 years. Took me 8 years to get the Ferrari. So for those of you that think it's overnight success, it's not overnight success. Why it took me that long is because for me, one thing, I should have done it quicker because I had the ways and the means to do it. But I think for me, it was just like I needed to be prepared. I didn't need anyone to tell me when I was ready. I needed to be ready here and here. And so the moment I felt that I was ready here and here, and I was okay, let's go, we're winning. Until I had that security in myself, then I pushed the button to make it happen. I already had the money at the time before. I've had the money. It's just at that time I was like, well, my focus is here. I'm building over here. Let me make sure that my money keeps, multiplying and doing what it needs to do, which it did, and put my family in a dream home. Right, in a forever home, because the forever home has to come before the car. And for me, it was like, environment and forever. Remember, I talked about environment. To me, it's huge. The environment I put my family in, the environment I put myself in, my team in, everybody. It's all about the environment. So I focused on that first, and then we got the Ferrari, and this is only the beginning. I mean, we've already been looking at other vehicles, but it's definitely fun to have, and it's definitely, like you just said, it does bring attention. It's really, if you can afford it, don't wait, just get it done. And you won't remember, I talked about me living in the now moment. Like, now is like the time, right? So I felt ready. I was like, now's the time, let's make it happen. And Albert, to your we're talking about Albert. He had been telling me for like the past 5 years, Albert Preciado, if you guys don't know who that is, had been telling me for the past 5 years, like, bro, get a car. I even drove his cars at the time, and he's always like, just get a car, go buy one, right? And I was just like, it was, at the end of the day, great advice for branding. But at the end of the day, it takes for you to understand where you are in life, because I know those people that have bought in those cars and are not in the stage to where they can actually afford them, or they can actually keep them. And then they put themselves in the situation, and then pride and ego comes back into their lives and go, oh man, I don't want to get rid of the one thing that I can't really afford, or I shouldn't be having. So check yourself and understand where you are in life, and then you can make things happen.
One of the things, I was going to buy a Lamborghini. Anthony knows, prior to me joining a 50K mentorship on that, I was ready. It's like, oh, I get the Lambo, I can take off. And I decided to invest in myself. But look, the story, it goes sour, but then it picks itself back up. But I invested 50K in a mentorship. The guy scammed me, right, out of the 50K. Was able to get some of my money back, right? Left a big debt in what I was going to do, because the car was going to give me more marketing, and I wasn't even supposed to buy it. I was supposed to buy a second property with that money, but it took a turn for the worse. It woke me up to crate. I couldn't build back up, and it was just, man, it was one of those things where, like, I could have got the car. I decided to invest in myself, which was the best route. It went sour when I picked myself back up. I got that one, just because for now, it looks like a Ferrari from far away until you put it up like that, and then you're like, nah, bro, it jokes. It's heavy. But yeah, man.
No, man, anything, remember, understanding where you are in life at the moment, it's and us that like cars, right? It's a W, right? Anytime that you get into something else that you couldn't have before, that's, you're winning. So, never look down on yourself the way it comes to, you won, and you're only going to grow from here. And speaking of losses, you talked about losing that 50K. That's that's a big issue with our people. Our people, and when I mean our people, nuestra gente, right? You guys get taken advantage of. Or minorities will get taken advantage of, and then we think that's it. Like, oh, you can't believe in yourself anymore. You can't believe in anyone else again. That's it. You're just gonna keep yourself, in that broken mindset. You just got broken. That's not my mentality. I've done the same thing. I've lost. I've had a lot of people take advantage of me. A lot of people steal from me. A lot of people do wrong, by me. And imagine if I would have turned around and gone, you know what, man, that's it. Like, I lost. I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never gonna push forward. Like, it's not about that loss, guys. Don't be afraid to take a loss, because it opens your eyes and opens so many opportunities for you to grow from. And now you're here. Now we're here, right? Imagine if we never took those losses. I lost millions, and you can't judge one person based on another person's experience that you've had. So if you had, an experience like what you had, I've had many of those. I don't judge the next person based on that experience. And what I do is, though, you get a chance to kind of look more into that individual and see the reality of that individual before you make that move. And I think that helps you make the next decision. But don't judge the next person, because that next person can be the difference. That next relationship can be the difference of your career, of your life, of everything you have going on, is, giving that other person that chance. It's like going through a bad breakup. You know what I mean? Yeah. That doesn't mean that's it. You're never going to end up seeking someone else. You got to allow that other person to show you that they're, more than capable of being your next significant other. The same thing comes with mentorship and coaching and these type of programs.
Speaking of mentorship, I know you have a mentorship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about, would you want to be like, hey, you know what? I rock with Diego.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well.
Yeah, mentorship and coaching. My coaching program right now, it's at the current moment, it's a 52-week coaching program. And what it is, it allows you to grow. Anyone that tells you you're going to be able to grow with one session or being in the room one time, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but it's going to take you longer than that to actually be able to grow. So I made it with the team. We created a 52-week coaching program, which allows you to learn, and whether it's in starting a business, or if you currently have a business and you want to scale that business, or if you're trying to get started in real estate, or you already have a couple of properties in real estate and you want to just scale your portfolio. So we have this 52-week program that allows you to grow alongside of me. I meet with you once a week through a Zoom call. You have access to my personal assistant, to my team, anything that you need throughout the weeks. I go on lives. You're able to ask questions on the lives, and we just back you up. We're there to help you 52 weeks long. And we also have an affiliate program. An affiliate program is like, you get involved with our company, and you don't have to know anything about real estate, anything about speaking about credit, DTIs. In real estate is debt to income ratios that you have to look into, the banks look into. So we help with that. So if by becoming an affiliate, you can come in and just simply refer somebody over to us, and we'll actually get you paid every time we close, whether it's a loan, a purchase or a sale of a property, or a DTI, helping someone with their credit for DTI purposes. Not the type of credit that Santiago over here helps you with, but the type of credit that, helps you with a DTI loan, helping your DTI so you can actually purchase a home or a condo or whatever property you're trying to purchase.
Now touching back, I think Diego touched on it. People, when they buy their first property, they think it's their forever home, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, would you recommend someone buy their first property, or go, still buy their first property, but go fourplex, or just buy a single home? Or it all depends on the person. What is your thoughts on that?
Duplex, by far. Start with a duplex. If you can't do the fourplex, start with multi-unit. Start with having doubles. Why? Because when you have a double, it allows you to rent one property, and they might be paying for the mortgage while you're living for free, and you can build. If you have a business you want to build, or if you want to go get into another property, you can always refinance, have that other significant tenant help you pay that mortgage while you refinance and get that money to invest in the next property. And that's how you're able to scale. So I would always say, don't look at your first property as your forever home, and don't look at a property based on location, because you might not want to live there, but so many other people, that they would love to live in that property. So many people make the mistake of looking at a property like, I don't want to live there. I would never live there. that doesn't mean that the next individual, that's not, you know, a place that they would love to live at that place, you know? So I always look at the opportunity for, in others, right? To actually like that, look at that property and want to live in that location. So a lot of people should talk about location, and it's no longer that, because when you're an investor and you want to invest in real estate, yeah, location is one thing, but another is value add, right? You go find a property in a place that maybe a neighborhood you would never live in, but you can add value to that property. There's 2 units, right? 4 units. You can actually rent 3, live in 1, rent 2, live in 1, while you scale to get to the next level. I'm not where I started. People don't realize that. Like I live in an estate right now that I didn't start there. I didn't, you know, we lived in condos, in a 1-bedroom condo, in you know, in townhomes. We lived in so many sacrifices, because we knew, you know, you got to communicate that. Obviously, I communicated that it was my wife, but you know that you're at a point in life where you're scaling everything else to get you to the next level. So don't be afraid to just jump into one, and then, you know, and then let that scale you to the next level.
Guys, we're almost wrapping up real quick. Just want to give you guys a special last minute insight. So right now, just you and the viewer watching you, Diego, what is something that you can, you know, share at 1 or 2 sentences or a message? Someone's tapping in. They're probably going through a dark time, right? Because we've all been through a dark moment, right? What is something you can share with them so they can take that nugget and we'll take it as a W and, you know, do something with it? What is something, like I said, just you and the camera right there? You know, go deeper, whatever, man. Just, you know, talk to them.
I think for me is really, I grew up, obviously I told everyone about coming from Mexico, and I grew up with my parents taken advantage of, my sister getting laughed at for not knowing the language, me getting picked on, getting bullied, and not just by words, but by physically getting bullied. You know, I grew up this way. A lot of people have different, you know, ways of, you know, the way they grew up out here, but I grew up that way. And so everything was a challenge for me. Everything has been a challenge. I've lost many battles. I've lost a lot of money. I've felt, you know, to where all I had was left was God, right? God and myself in an empty room. And so my advice has always been, you know, give the glory to God and get close to God and pray, and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You know deep down inside, if you are facing something where you don't believe in yourself, and believe in God. God exists. God exists. God is real. You're here for a reason. You know, find that purpose, find that reason, and hold on to it. I'm a big believer in that. My company's name is Ignite, with a Y in it for that reason, because we all have a why. We all have a reason. And if you don't have a family, perspectives change when you have a child. If you don't have a child, that's fine. What's your perspective in life right now? What is it that you're looking for? Because I've been there. I've had no kids before, right? And I knew I wanted to just get my parents and my family out of that stage where we're at. We wanted to grow. I always believe that we deserve better. So you guys, you deserve better. So when you're empty in that room, understand that I've been there. I've lost it all. I've gained it, lost it all. And financially is not everything. I was broken in every way. You know, mind, soul, everything. So don't give up. Just don't give up and keep pushing forward. Believe in yourself.
Guys, one of the things I wanted to share too is that I'm glad God, you know, has blessed all of us with, you know, not being average.
Yeah.
Right? Most people stay comfortable on average, right? I'm not perfect. I got my inner demons that I have to work on. Yeah. Definitely, especially my health. But I feel like God gave me the ability, like, to go harder each day, just get 1% better each day. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he'll take care of the rest. I'm very spiritual. You know, we try to go to church every Sunday. We probably miss 1 or 2, but for the most part, we're there and giving thanks, you know, thanks to God. I know I don't really talk about it as much, so then thank you, Diego, for bringing them up seriously.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes we take things for granted. We're always going 140 and, you know, things fly by, you know, and everyone, if you're going through a dark time, you know, definitely connect with him. And then he'll let you know what to do, what's right in your heart. Execute. But remember, I think the things that we're mainly taking away from this whole podcast is, you know, love what you do.
Yeah.
I can hear when he talks about, you can see that glow where it's like, hey man, he loves what he does. I love what I do. the people in this room. I'm sure, hoping they also love what they do. But yeah, I mean, love what you do, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the pod. And he's going to be a speaker at creditmeetup.com, April 20th. Looking forward to having you guys there. Trying to figure out a way to get it virtual.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just going to be, live in person. So thank you very much, Diego.
No,
Appreciate it for having him.
yeah, si se puede, mi gente. Si se puede.
There you go.